Okay, that's a good start. Okay, so some are just, I know right off the bat what color I'm going to use. Basically, the rule of thumb is for every 2 parts of Floetrol, 1 part of paint. That's an estimate though. You really have to play around and get the consistency. When I'm done mixing, I'll show you the consistency I go for. So you can see with this one, see how runny it is? It's a little hard from that angle, but it's thick, but it's not too thick. It's just perfect. That's what we want. And paint stick to open this can. I'm not sure how I want to handle such a big thing of purple. Let's see, we'll get one of these small cups. I recommend having a variety of mixing and pouring tools so that you can kind of have something for every situation you come across. What I found with acrylic pouring is it's very, not to make a joke, but it's very fluid art form. That constantly is requiring adapting and changing and trying new things. So don't be afraid to experiment with the tools that you use. You can use a variety of household objects, as I'm sure you've seen if you've watched anybody else do this. And sometimes that makes some of the coolest things. Okay, so we got our purple. Nice. Let's get a little gold or yellow. Okay, perfect. Another purple, different color. And yet another purple. Why so many purples? Well, whenever I do a color, I like to do a medium, a dark, and a light, because you can create some really cool contrasting effects. So again, with like orange, I'll do a couple different oranges. Did I pour something in this one? We'll find out. Green. Another purple. And another green. So we got 3 greens, 2 oranges, 4 or 5 purples. We're going to do a gray and a white. So first, we should find out if I poured anything in here, because I forgot. I think I did. I think I did yellow. Yep. Yellow. Like a gold yellow. I'm going to move some of these because I'm not using them at the moment. Once I get a bigger workspace, this clutter will be a lot less. But for now, this is fine. Okay. So I'm actually going to need one more cup for the black / gray. I don't know if it'll be blacker or grayer. I like mixing silver or metallics in general with my white or my black because it gives it a nice sheen when it dries. And especially with any of the oceany or space looking themes, if that's what comes across, those look very crisp with a little bit of metallic in there. So it's a way of putting metallic in there without making another cup for that. The nice thing about white is really you just have to determine, is this going to be a base or is this going to be one you add silicone to? And for me, usually I like adding silicone to it. That's how you get a lot of that really neat cell looking effects. It works really well with kind of whatever your non-prominent colors are. So with white, I'm actually going to add this thick silicone too. And you just need like 2 drops. It's super syrupy, so it'll take it a second. There you go. And that's what will give us the cool selling effect, is when we spread this over whatever we pour. So you want to make sure to really mix that up well. You want that to be in your whole cup. That's how it works best. All right, let's mix the rest of these and then we'll get the black. Nice lavender color here. Those are nice. This might be 2 lavender colors. We're going to find out. If it is, I might modify it some to be either a bluer or a redder lavender, depending on what I think is missing. Yeah, so it's about the same color, and so I'm actually going to grab a red, which sounds strange, but I know from experience will make it a lot darker. The biggest thing with your colors is you don't want too many that are you want there to be big contrast. So even though I do several of different colors, I actually am looking for ones that aren't going to readily mix when they're next to each other. So like you want shades of purple, but you don't want the same purple. So adding red, that's going to make this a little bit more pink than purple. Maybe even orangey. And it will be a good middle color between our oranges and our purple. And I might have put too much red in there, but that's okay. It'll still have the same effect. Very rosy color. So see how that changed from a violet to this very rose, which will be good when next to these oranges. A lot of it for me isn't like so much science or anything like that. It's more, I don't know, you get these feelings as you work with the color. And based off of what you feel, you try it. And maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but if it doesn't, you can always re-pour it. Ooh, look at how pretty that is. I might not even do a black, honestly. I think I have the color mixes that I want here with just the white. Or if I do black, I might just use spray paint. Oh, perfect. Darker purple. We're going to get this green. And those two greens look very similar. So I might add some blue, make it more teal. Nah, actually, the more I'm mixing it, it's changing. Okay, we're fine. They're close, but they're not the same. Okay. Let's see how this one turns out. Ah, yes, that's the dark I want. And I find as they sit too, after you've stirred them, the colors change slightly. So it's sometimes worth it just to leave. Like this green is getting more blue naturally, so I don't think I need to add any to it. Okay, and finally, this purple. So total, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different colors. Now, I probably, for this canvas, because it's smaller, only use 4 of them, and then whatever has my silicone in it. The style I'll be going with is very simple for this pour. And I like this yellow color, but I don't want it to be a primary, so I'm going to put silicone in it as well, and it will be another one that we spread. I'm going to put a thinner silicone in it, so the cells that it creates will be smaller in general. That's what it seems like. It seems like the thicker silicone makes larger cells, and the thinner one makes smaller cells. So that and the white will be what I spread over other colors. For this first one, I'm going to do no green. That's for the next painting. I'm going to do the dark purple. The dark orange, light purple, pink, and our gold and our white. So, now that I know which colors I'm going to go with, I put them roughly in the order in which I'm going to pour them. That's a personal choice. Doesn't affect what it looks like. It just affects my sanity. So I typically like to put lighter colors on top. If I use a light base, if I use a dark base, I like to put them on bottom. So in this case, I'm using Runoff as my base. So just Runoff from all the paintings I've done. And it's dark. It's this dark purple color. So we'll just pour it on there. It's going to have some clumps and stuff. We'll want to get those off of the canvas. And since it's base, you can pour as much as you want on here. So I'll use this whole can. And then I'll just re-put it in the can when I'm done. Then you can apply your base any way you want. You can do a paintbrush. You can circle it around. Sometimes you get some cool layers if you blow dry it, and you get rid of a lot of the chunks doing it that way, because they kind of present themselves as you are blowing. The old dried paint that got into the can. Okay, now that I got the whole canvas colored, I'll drop off the remaining of the excess that I don't need. Okay. Targeting the clumps, you want it to be as thin, or not thin, but smooth. Smooth is the right word. Smooth as possible. So, we start to look at that, and we're getting there. Okay, looking pretty smooth. Okay, so we got our base on. Now, we pour our pattern. For this particular design or technique or whatever you want to call it, the pattern that I use is, these are kind of opposites, right? These four colors. We got a dark purple, light purple, and orange, and the pink. I could have used the light orange too, but I think that pink will actually blend real nice. And so I'm going to put the darkest purple, the darkest colors, in the center. Okay, and I'm going to put them just in a line across with a little bit extra in the middle. And actually I lied, I'm going to use green as well. Then I just kind of on the outside of that, we'll do a line. Okay. And then I'll go back to my dark color. I'm going to add more of that into the center. And I'm actually going to put that on either side of the purple because of the effect that I'm going to try and do, which you'll see come through shortly. Okay. Then I go to my light colors, okay? And with those, I'm actually going to drizzle in a different pattern on top of whatever pattern I chose before. And again, the reason for that will become apparent once I finish. And then same with this one, but opposite pattern. There we go. All right. Okay, now this is the important bit. I take my ones with silicone and I make sure the silicone's well and mixed in it. And then I pour that on the sides. And then I might put some of the silicone in the center too. Just a very, very little amount. And then I'm actually going to, because I like that green color, I'm afraid it's going to get lost, I'm actually going to put some more of that in the center too. Okay. Now I've got that. Now I get a scraping tool. It can be anything. It can be a sheet of plastic that's as long as the canvas. My favorite scraping tool is this. I bought it at Home Depot. Yep. It's actually for a for some sort of pole scraper, but I just use it. And then pull the other way. Okay. Now you're going to see we have different cells forming. And I want more of the gold cells to come in. So okay. Now, in general, I like this, but I've got too much paint on here, one, and two, I don't like the corners. So I'm going to stretch this without stretching all the gold off. Okay. Get it to where I like it. Okay. The gold is going to be a lot more subtle, but you can actually see it mixed in with some of the cells. How we can bring it out a little bit without adding more is you can use a heat gun on some of this. And we're actually going to find that we get some nice colors from doing that. A lot less purple than I was intending, but that's okay. The oranges look beautiful. Okay, now I'm going to try a new thing where I spray paint it with clear spray paint. So I'll be right back while I go get that. Okay. So we're gonna gloss it with that. And then I'll let you know how it dries. But I'm really liking it. I hope it stays. Let's see if we can get a clearer image of it. Let's see. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed.